Okay, I think we are good to go. Good morning, everyone, and I'd like to welcome us to today's session on employability webinar. We have with us this morning Shekinah Olagunju, and I'm going to take her bio briefly. Shekinah Olagunju is the press and media coordinator at the US Consulate, where she leads strategic media engagement and supports public affairs initiatives that strengthen communication between the United States and Nigeria. She works closely with journalists, editors, and media institutions to advance accurate reporting, promote informed dialogue, and amplify key diplomatic priorities. She possesses a strong professional background in public relations, marketing, and corporate communications across West Africa and United States, with a solid understanding of communities, cultures, and contexts. She drives strategic messaging and stakeholders engagement. This morning, Shekinah will be speaking to us on personal branding for success. Please, let's put our hands together as we welcome Shekinah. Before Shekinah will take the floor, I also want to inform us that I'll be coordinating this program with my colleague, the Director of American Center, Abuja, Grace Lamon. So over to you, Grace. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, everyone. So, thank you, Ms. Josephine, for reading out Shekinah's bio. We'll allow Shekinah to deliver her messages this morning. After that, and then I'm going to coordinate the question and answer session. For those of you who may not be able to come very close to the camera, as is the culture, please type in your questions in the chat box and then we'll pick it up from there for her to respond. So as she's talking, once you have questions, feel free to type it in there. Thank you very much. So over to you, Shekinah.
Thank you so much, Madam Grace. Thank you, Madam Josephine, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me? Okay, I'm seeing hands. Awesome, awesome. So give me 1 second to share my screen and we'll get started. All right, can everyone hear me now? Hello,
Yes.
awesome. So we'll get started. So welcome everyone. This is a session on personal branding. I don't want it to be one I'm just lecturing. It's be as interactive as possible. So please, if you have any questions, do drop ins in chat. We'll take that at the end of the session. So personal branding, I just encapsulated what this session is in just one line here is basically be known for something and get paid for it is what personal branding is, but we'll get into more of the details as we go. So let's get started. So before I jump into it, I'm sure we've all heard what pencil branding here or there. Maybe we have not heard about it or self-branding. I'd like to open it up to everyone. What do you think personal branding is? What have you heard about personal branding? What is the image you have about personal branding? Please, I want it to be as interactive as possible. So can we get some comments? People can unmute their mics, right, Madam Grace? Is that fine?
Yes, please. You can just raise your virtual hand and we'll call on you.
There are no wrong answers, please. So feel free.
Anyone?
Oh, I'm skipping. Okay. Does no one know what personal branding is? It's fine. There are no wrong answers. Just what you think here. What's the first that comes to your mind? I see a hand in Bauchi, I think.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Butch.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm from American Space Biology. So, personal branding is all about a unique qualities of you being a person, that a gift from a divine gift, maybe a gift of knowledge, a gift of wisdom, so that you will be helpful with the support of those that knows deeply about life, to help you to explore certain things that will help in building the society.
Oh, thank you for that. So it's like your purpose or what sets you apart. So that's a good one. Can we get another one from another center? Uh,
Benin?
I can't see all the videos. If it's anyone who can see to, yeah, okay.
Yes,
There's a
Benin
hand up over
window.
here.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
go ahead.
Good morning once again.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, personal branding is actually what you want people to perceive about you. It
Okay.
involves the way you approach matters, the way you approach issues before you. So it's like an image that you are pushing forward, you are selling. So it gets to a level that
Okay.
say, okay, this is happening. This is how this person will approach it. This is what he's going to do. This is how he likes to do it. And this is the outcome. Normally. So that's
All right. Thank you for that. Those are all great, correct answers. So, but I think before I define things, I'd like to know, it's easier to know what it's not before we jump into exactly what it is. So, because a lot of people have misconceptions about personal branding. So let's start off with what it's not. First of all, personal branding is not a fabricated persona. So it's not a lie. You can't say that, oh, I want my personal brand is a billionaire. Unfortunately, I'm not a billionaire yet. Unless there's any billionaires in the room, please. If you're a billionaire, please raise your hand. I'd like to know you. But your personal brand cannot be fabricated. It has to be true. Your personal brand is also not showing off or bragging. There's a difference between you communicating your personal brand versus you showing off that, oh, I'm the best in the world. Nobody compares to me. That's not personal branding. Personal branding is also not faking competence or a replacement for quality work. You can't say that, oh, I want my personal brand to be, oh, I'm the best in coding, but you don't even know how to code. That's not what personal branding is. Personal branding does not replace actual skill and actual work. And personal branding is also not just social media. A lot of times when we say personal branding, people think LinkedIn, oh, my personal brand is my LinkedIn. Personal branding is way more than just social media, LinkedIn online. It's also offline. Personal branding also translates to life offline and your network. We'll get into that. Personal branding is also not a popularity contest of, oh, I'm the most popular in that or I'm the most popular in this. That's not personal branding. And another big misconception that people have with personal branding is that your job or your role, your personal brand is not your job title, unfortunately. A lot of people make this misconception. It's not your employer's brand either. So if you're a digital marketer at so company, that is not your personal brand. Because for example, what if you change roles? Does that mean that, oh, you've lost your personal brand? What if you say, oh, I'm no longer interested in marketing. I want to work in a whole different industry. What happens then? You've lost your personal brand. It's not your current title. It's also not your employer's brand. Your employer can be so, but then that's not your brand. Your brand has to be distinct from all of that. So now we've talked a lot about what it's not. So then we're getting to what is your personal brand? So your personal brand is the deliberate shaping of how you're perceived. Like some people mentioned earlier, like, oh, how do people perceive you? So the key part to follow here is the deliberate shaping, because sometimes people say that, oh, my work should speak for itself. I don't have to do anything. Some people have that discussion that, oh, people should just know. Like I just have to put my head down and work. Unfortunately, in this day and era, that doesn't work. There has to be a deliberate actions taken, so in how you are perceived and how you want to be perceived by who you want to perceive certain qualities about you. It's a very clear message about what's your unique value, what are the skills you have and the expertise that set you apart. And another thing to also pay attention to is reputation management. So it's not a one-time thing. It was like, oh, this is my personal brand. Oh, that's it. I've closed the book. It's that consistent management of, oh, What is my personal brand in my professional spaces? So at work, at school, in church, what do people think about me? How am I managing my reputation there? Then also digital spaces on my social media, my accounts that have my public names on it. What is the message I'm communicating to people and what people think about that? And how am I tweaking or auditing all of that? And it's important to align the reputation you have with your personal and career goals. For example, if your reputation is that, oh, for example, oh, you want to get a promotion at work or you want a leadership role, but then your reputation is like, oh, this person never meets deadlines. They're always the person lagging. Why haven't you sent it now? You've passed the deadline, 2 days past the deadline. But you want to have a leadership role that, oh, I'm managing things. When that doesn't align with your personal brand or what your goals you have, there's a disconnect. Then you have to work on it to say, oh, how do I work on my things, work on myself so that my brand reflects the goals that I want to get? And it's also establishing authority and trust in your field. I always say this in Nigeria, everybody has a plug for something. What are you the plug for? Are you the plug for, oh, if I ever need someone that, oh, I need this tax done by today, who is the person I can trust on in my company? Or who is the person I can trust on in my school that can get this done for you? Are you the plug for that? And are you the right plug? Are you the, oh, if I need to give this tax to someone that's not so serious, who am I going to go to? Is that what your plug is? No, you have to be very clear. What are you the plug for? And then it's also differentiating yourself because, of course, we all know what the reality is, a very competitive environment out there, trying to get ahead in your career or even trying to establish yourself. How do you differentiate yourself in a sea of other people? That's also your personal brand. And is turning that identity into an asset for success too. It's like, oh, because more than just what you do or your role, how you're perceived is something you can use to really get ahead in life and set yourself apart and also push your career forward. And then just speaking more about like the benefits of having a strong personal brand. When you have a strong personal brand to set you apart, it helps with, like I said, accelerate career growth, increase credibility. When people are like, oh, who is the trusted person for this? And spaces people know to come to you, it sets you apart. But it also gives you money, like something you can be paid for. Many people don't know this. When you have a strong personal brand, it opens you up to consulting opportunities. It opens you up to paid speaking roles, advisory roles, when people are thinking of partnerships or appointments or even media opportunities, like, oh, there's a radio station. I'm looking for a student who is very vocal about so, 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 so. They're like, oh, if I look online, this person's always talking about this. I think this person would be good to invite. That's what personal branding can do for you. That's how personal branding can set you apart. So yeah, as you see how there's so many benefits, you see why it's important that to be goes back to that deliberate shape, and you can't just let it be like, oh, I'll just put my head down when there's all these benefits you can get from having a strong personal brand. You really have to be deliberate about how am I tweaking my personal brand? What am I pushing? And what do people think about me and my personal brand to be able to access this and really be successful in my career and move forward in my career? And then just speaking a bit more about why personal branding matters. Because, like I said, when I talk about, oh, what are you the plug for? It also speaks to referrals. Because in this country, a lot of times, how you can get opportunities, and not even in this country, globally, so how you can get opportunities, scholarships, even things like that. It's referrals. People like, oh, do you know anybody who's good at so, 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 so? I'm sure we've all heard things like that. Are you the first person people think of when it comes to that in what you're doing? Or are you like number five? Or are you not even on the list of that? What is that? So like in your even your network, how do you combine getting referrals in your network to get the visibility that you need as part of your personal brand? So it's beyond who you know in your network, in your personal brand. It's really about like what are you known for? Like when someone in the rooms that you're not in, like, oh, you're not in this room, or but they're looking for people to appoint for so so so. They're looking for people to join a team of so 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 so. They're looking for people who can do so 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 so. Are you someone that people will mention? Why and why not? And what do you need to do to ensure that people mention you, to be memorable, to be someone that people can, oh, this is what I know this person for. How do you become that? So there's a lot of talk about what it is, but then we're not going to like a little case study. So I have three images up on screen. Like I said, I want this to be interactive. Don't worry, it's not too difficult. Can you recognize any of who these three people are? If you do, please unmute your mic, maybe drop in the chat. Maybe Madam Grace will help me because I can't see the chat messages. So if there's any answers in chat, please help me call them out. But
Sure.
thank you so much. So can
Yeah.
anyone recognize any of these three people? Please open to answers. I want to see what if we recognize these people?
Raise your virtual hands if you can type that fast.
I think we have a couple from Benin and Ikeja.
Any hands up? I
Yeah,
can't
I
see
see
it.
some in Benin and Ikeja. Or
Okay.
Ikeja, the video is off, I think.
Ikeja,
Benin
let's
can go
hear
ahead.
from you.
Okay, Ikeja.
You. The first person is okay, Keja.
No,
Oh,
it's a
go
being
ahead, go ahead, go ahead,
Okay,
go ahead.
okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Okay, the
Mm.
first person is Sonia Lumelu
Okay.
of UBA. Second person is Chief Wala Denuga, Chairman Globalcom, and the third is Abdul Samad Rabiu, CEO or Chairman of WAGU.
Okay. Correct. So it's by Kadenuga, by the way. But what made you think how were this so recognizable for you from this picture? Like their faces were not showing. What were the key parts that stood out that made you know that those were the people?
Okay, Mr. Ilumelu is known for his characteristic red tie, which is
Okay.
constantly colors, and his blue suits. Then Mike Adenuga always wears white and a Rolex. Then Mr. Rabiu wears this same color of buba, purple or green or blue kaftan. Both usually wear.
Okay, good. So maybe we can get someone else. So what are three things? So what do you think of these people apart from them being billionaires? So let's get other people to answer too. What are three
Okay.
things you associate with them?
Please mute your mic if you're not talking. We have Dulce, who also said the third person is Abdul Samad Isia Karabi. So maybe we'll give them opportunity to talk. Dulce? If Dulce is not ready, I see Oka's hand up. Oka, go ahead. Okay. Dulce, yes.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Before you open the three, reveal their faces, we only able to recognize the third person. That's up to Samad Isiaq Rabiu, and
Oh,
then
okay.
some of the audience later recognize Tony Enumelu and Mike Adeniga. So, which means we have all the three. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you. So I'm just asking for association. So when you hear Tony Lumelu or hear Mekadunuga, what is the first thing that comes to your mind apart from them being billionaires? I'm opening it up to the room. I see Bauchi has their hand up.
Okay.
Yes, voucher.
Good morning, everyone. First, when I see Tony Element, one thing that will come to my mind, besides being a billionaire, is someone that has dedicated his time in building one of the most reputable banking institutions in Nigeria, not even in Nigeria, but in Africa. And another thing is someone that has also committed the greater part of his wealth to philanthropy, supporting education, scholarship, and other things. And when it comes to the Mr. Mike Adenuga, when I see him, I remember that things that quickly comes to my mind is someone that has been building wealth from the scratch. He has been in the global, in the telecom industry. He built one of the most giant telecommunication industry in the world, not in Africa alone. And he has been making a lot of name towards supporting young people in terms of giving them employment, at the same time in terms of giving back to the society. At the same time, he contributes towards building the Nigerian economy. Like he fair tax, he also helped in building our GDP, not only Nigerian GDP, in African GDP. And also talking about the Abdulsamad Ishakurabu, when I see him, is someone that me, I personally know him. He was born and brought up from a well-respected religious family, and he decided to venture into businesses. And he's now building one of the most reputable company. And just recently, in my own state here in Bauchi, he also, with the help of the custom boss was in Bauchi last 1 week. He donated a 60-bed hospital clinic at the custom office here in Bauchi. So this is another achievement, part of his African initiative, which is African Initiative Foundation. And he said that according to what the CG said of the custom, 50 million US dollars has been dedicated towards boosting the health sector. So these are the kind of things that I could remember him. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that thorough answer. So as you can see, even without seeing their faces, let's start from that. You already knew. Some of us knew some more than the others. For example, Tony Emilu, before I showed his picture fully, some people saw the pin and the red tie that he wears all the time, and they already had an association. That's his branding. Someone mentioned that, oh, academic always wears white. So even down to the fashion, you already know their personal brand. But then more than fashion too, you know the industries they're in. Why do you think, oh, because they're not the only billionaires in Nigeria, of course not. There are other philanthropists that invest in African youth, but do we know about them? We know these people because these are people who work on their personal brand and they put it out there. How did you know that he's doing a donation of 50 million? It's because you saw that in the news, right? It's because you've seen consistently that these are people investing in these industries and you've seen the stories, you've seen the realities. So that's the deliberate actions because there are many other billionaires in Nigeria, but there's a reason why these people that put their name out there and they're investing in their personal brand, there's a reason why you know them and you know them in these spaces. So when you say, oh, it's a reputable company, you think it's reputable because people have put in the effort, they've put in the work to put their name and have their name associated with that good reputation. So that way their name precedes them even before they enter the room. So even billionaires are people who work for their personal brand. So it's not a thing that even so if billionaires themselves are working on their personal brand and it's something they're very intentional about, those of us who are not yet billionaires, who are we to not work on our personal brand? I always give that example because even some of them, you can see some are even more active on social media. For example, Tony Elumilu. I'm sure some of us have seen Tony on social media or posting things or trips he's doing, activities he's doing. Why you think, oh, why does a billionaire have to bother with doing all of that? So the thing is that personal branding is something that greases the wheels and makes things smoother. Because when people already know that, oh, if they're looking for, oh, in Africa, if I want to go to someone that's trusted, that I want to partner with on this specific industry, oh, they know that, oh, there's this African billionaire that's doing all of this. Interesting, interesting. That's somebody I want to partner with. That's personal branding. And it's not just, oh, tied to their roles. They have evolved way more than the current company they're working for or wherever they're managing. Their personal brand has become strong enough to be able to grease the wheels for them. And it's not only limited to billionaires. There are many other reputable Nigerians that we know that have clearly work on their personal brand. And that's what helps grease the wheels for them. That's what helps accelerates their careers and what they want to get in their goals. So thank you for the answers. I know we still have some hands up. Don't worry. There's a number of interactive sessions going on in the session, so we'll have other spaces will have opportunities to speak to. So just moving on, because we spoken a lot about personal branding and why it's important and why even billionaires work on their personal brand. So these are the top 8 questions I'll say that I was important in a personal brand audit, because you need to also audit your personal brand. It's like, okay, well, do I even have a personal brand? For those who don't even know, like, oh, I don't even know what my personal brand is. I'm not started work. I'm still in school. What's my personal brand? Here's the thing. Even if you've not worked on your personal brand, you've not done anything for your personal brand, you already have a brand. The thing is that why it's important to work on it because, oh, you have to be deliberate that, okay, I want the brand to be this. Because if you don't do anything, your brand is just, it will become whatever people decide. So you have to be the one stirring that sheep that's like, oh, this is what I want my personal brand to be. This is what I want people to think of me when I enter the room or even before I enter the room. So these are just top questions to ask you. So I know some of us have notepads. If you have a notepad or maybe later on, I'm sure we should be able to share the slides to just think about some of these questions. So the first one we talk about, what are the top 3 things you want to be known for? So it goes to be, when we mentioned the billionaires earlier, you're talking about the companies they're working in or the industries they care passionately about African and Nigerian youth. So, what do people know what you care passionately about? What are those top 3 things you care passionately about that you want people to know you about? Another thing is that, okay, if you're looking for, oh, I don't know my personal brand, there's also some questions that can help guide that. For example, what do people consistently compliment you on? What do you usually get compliments about? It's like, oh, thank you so much. You're so quick when you work on this document and you're very good at that. Oh, okay. That's something to note that, oh, this is actually a part of my personal brand. Your personal brand can be like, you're really good at catching mistakes. Like, oh, there's this little typo that nobody noticed, but you noticed that, that thing is not straight. That's also something to consider that could be a part of your personal brand. Those are questions you need to ask yourself, but also write answers under. And then another thing people miss too is that personal branding, it has to be targeted. Because in when you're doing your working on your personal brand, you're speaking to everyone, but you also want to be very clear on aligning your personal brand to your goals. For example, like who's your ideal client that you want to work for? Who's your ideal employer or partner? For example, like, oh, I want to work for Coca-Cola or I want to work for so company. Is my personal brand aligned with what kind of people they're looking for? You need to ask yourself those questions. And what do I need to do to get my personal brand to be aligned with the people I want to work for or the people that I want to come to me for business? It's very clear to have that target audience. And once you know who those people are, where are those people? So if you say, oh, this is the ideal company I want to work for, but they're very active on Instagram, is my personal brand on Instagram strong? Will they find me on Instagram? Or they're not really online. These people, they're more offline. So what do I need to go offline or on offline places? Who are the people I need to add to my network that I can push my personal brand to these people that I want to work with? So it's very important to know your target audience of like who these are the people that I want to connect my personal brand to. And these are the people that I want my personal brand to be aligned with. Another thing talking about in finding your personal brand is talking about what separates you from with others who do what you do. What separates you from them? So in the world of we're all graphic designers, yes. What separates you from A from B to C? And it's fine to not have that right now because it's like, okay, well, my job is this, or this is what I do, or this is what I'm doing now, or I'm a student. I don't really have what separates me from other people. But it's fine to know that and have that as an answer. But you say, okay, what do I need to do in the next year or in the next 2 to 3 years to separate me from others that I know that it will contribute to the personal brand that I want? So if you review yourself or audit yourself, you say, I don't really have much that separates me, then something you need to do to work on. Because like I said earlier, personal branding is not a replacement for skill. If once you, even if you push your story like, oh, this is who I am, this is what I do, blah blah blah, when people interact with you and they realize that, oh, there's a misalignment between your personal branding and the reality, that's actually going to hurt your personal brand. So you can't replace skill. So it's important to know that, okay, what skills do I need to work on that ties into my personal brand? I'm not just working on the skill. It's not something you work on and you close your book and that's it. Okay, you've worked on the skill. Are you not communicating that skill to other people? Do people know that you've added this skill to your database? And it's more than just posting, on LinkedIn that, I am now certified in so. Okay, you have your certification. You've posted it online, but are you constantly talking to people that, oh yes, I did my certification last year on so, or oh yes, my certification, I've actually been certified of, and other people in those spaces who are also been certified. Are you connected with those people? So it's really more about being clear and communicating consistently about that in your personal brand. And something else I also mentioned because like in as much as we say personal branding, online is so important. So I always say what appears when you Google search yourself. Is also a part of auditing your personal brand. So I think let's do a little something right now. And those of us who have our phones in here, I would like for you to Google search your name. So just Google search your full name, and I would like to get some answers to what pops up. What's the first thing you see? What's the first couple things you see when you Google search your name? Is this somebody else that you're seeing there? I'd like to see some answers. So can we just all quickly Google search your name? Don't worry, I also Google search my name. I'll show you my answers for when I Google search my name and my personal brand. So please, let's Google search. If we have some answers, we can have it unmute your mic or maybe have some comments down. Please don't be shy. If we see something else, say it. It's something that we're all working on, right? I think, do we still have, are these new hands up or old hands?
I think these are old hands, but if you want to speak and it's still the same hands up, you can leave them. Mina and Bauchi, I see your hands up.
Okay, what person will talk? They have seen you, they say talk. Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm also the question is, you're asking about the personal branding audit. This is the point, the main topic.
Yes, I said to Google search your name. So search your name, your full name, and tell me what's the first things that pop up. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. I think Yola just raised her hand again. Is this a new hand?
Yes, Yola.
Okay, yes, Yola, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
All right. Can I say something? Yes. Come on, say what you want.
Okay, I can find myself on LinkedIn, my LinkedIn account, my
Okay.
Facebook account as well. The events that I posted on Facebook and Instagram, and also the one that people posted on Facebook and tagged me.
Okay.
And also uh, on 10,000 Nigerian youths initiative funds that I applied and my name came out, also appeared here on Google. So
Okay,
that's all
good.
for now.
No, thank you for that answer. So it's a mix of your social media, your LinkedIn, and things you've applied for. Interesting. Can we have, I think Oka raised her
Oka?
hand.
Yeah, Oka.
Your video is off, by the way, but you can go ahead if you have any internet issues.
Mina,
All
are
right.
you ready? Okay, Oka, are you there? Go ahead.
Yes. When I searched my name Charles Ikechukwu is my name. Charles Ikechukwu is a software engineer and creator of Nixus.js, a JavaScript framework designed for building interfaces. And it brought out, like, Google search brought out all of the things I have worked on for the past 4 years. It
Okay.
linked my X accounts and other platforms that I post blogs on.
Okay, so it's LinkedIn, your social media accounts, but then also posts you've done on other platforms. Okay, that's good.
And work I have done so.
Okay, and the work you've done so far. Interesting. Can we have one or two last people?
Mina, are you there? Please put down your hands if you're not raising them, your virtual hands. Mina, yes?
My question was, please can you hear me? Good morning.
Go
Good
ahead.
morning. Can
I
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you.
Okay. My question is, how long does it take to build a good personal brand?
Okay, so we're not taking questions yet. I'll get to that, but I think you can drop that in the chat. We're Google searching our names. Do we have a final person or can I move on?
I think we should move on
Okay,
since
great.
we don't have any questions.
I think a couple people are trying to post, so I'll post mine. So I'll be an example. So yes, this is a search I did of my name last week when I was creating the slides. So like you said, when you search your name, first thing usually pops up is your LinkedIn. That's why a lot of people mention LinkedIn when it comes to personal branding because that's usually the first thing that comes up. But something that people also miss when it comes to LinkedIn is that LinkedIn usually has a headline, your headline associated with your name. A lot of times people leave that as their job title. Like I said, your personal brand is not your job title. So my LinkedIn, when I pop up with my LinkedIn, mine has the three key things, the key industries that I work in and I want to continue working in, which is public relations, marketing, and corporate communications. So right off the bat, you know that that's where I am, and that's associated with my brand. But it also has stories of when I resumed work at the consulate in 2024, the pictures are my pictures. There's a picture of me getting an award, the picture of me speaking somewhere. There's also my Facebook page that's important, like, oh, your social media accounts, reviewing all of that. But there's also pictures or posts about, oh, from former past speaking engagements. There's a post about, oh, from my school, university in Pennsylvania, as an alumni feature, things like that. So these are all key things that are important. Like, oh, so when people search me for my personal brand, they're seeing that, oh, this is a person and this is the industry this person works in, the person has been featured here. So these are all things that are deliberate, like, oh, so not just doing this engagement, ensuring that this engagement are posted visibly and people can see that and associate that with my personal brand. So it's okay if you set your personal brand, you don't see yourself or you see somebody else. It's something to know that, okay, this is where I am. Where do I need to go? Where do I need to speak? What do I need to do? And it doesn't even have to be like, oh, get to the speaking opportunities. It can be like, oh, someone mentioned that, oh, they see their name associated places, articles they may have written or places they may have been featured. So, okay, even if you're not doing speaking opportunities, are you writing any interesting articles or things that you want to be known for? What are you writing that you want to be associated with that can be published on other websites that can be associated with your personal brand, that you want to be associated with your personal brand? Those opportunities. I mean, sometimes it cannot even it doesn't have to be another website. There's platforms like Medium or even just having your own blog to publish your own interesting insights about things you want to be associated with. You can publish by yourself, especially these days. You can even use AI tools to help edit. Of course, it has to be original thought. Like I said, always backed up with skill and experience. But then publishing and putting it out there and having that association with your personal brand. I know we have a hand up from Lecky. I just want to clarify, is this associated with the Google search or is the question for that would be in personal branding journal? We'll take the question at the end of the session. But if the question related to Google search, I can take that now.
Lucky.
Lecky, you're muted. You're still muted. Okay.
Okay, good morning, ma'am.
Hi, good
So
morning.
is the question based on Google search?
Okay, great.
Okay, so I'm Tamara Gabriel. So when I did the search of my name, so it brought out my Facebook and where I've worked before. So it came up with some yes. Hello, ma, can you hear me?
Yes, I am. I thought you had a question. That's why I was waiting for the question.
No. So I did the search of my name and it came up with AgTech and other places that I've studied before.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you for that. So, like I said, it's also tied to like when you search yourself and don't be shy. So people are shy to search themselves. You need to be searching yourself at least every couple months to see like what's popping up, what's associated with my name, and be very clear about it. Because sometimes you can have a similar name to somebody else, and then it can be something on there that's not tied to you that you don't want to be tied to you. So be very clear of like, oh, if I search my name, what am I seeing? Another key tip I'll give, like if you have a name that's very common to like it's a very common name. Like my name is I don't know, like a common name like a GD or something that I see that a lot of other people name. So I have the same name. So when I search myself, I'm seeing another person. The person is taking most of the Google search. Then be very clear of like, oh, what do I need to do to boost my name? To differentiate myself from these other people that's associated with me. So it can be like, oh, do you want to use your full name instead? In your personal branding works that whenever your full name is mentioned, you know that this is a name unique to me. I'll give an example. For example, my full name is Ifeoluwa Shekinah Olagunju. But I know Ifeoluwa is a very popular name. And so I want my personal brand to be very distinct. And I'm mostly called Shekinah in professional spaces. So in my personal branding is Shekinah. So you see a lot of Shekinah popping up in my personal brand. So that's something deliberate that I did, that I wanted my name to be distinct so that when people search me, it's very specific to what they're saying is very specific to what I'm creating and what I'm active in making sure that's being put out there for my personal brand. So like I said, it always goes back to it's a very deliberate effort that you're putting on how you're being perceived, both online and also offline. So then we've talked a lot about personal branding and you're searching yourself on what you need to do. So this is just more clarity on actually like homework. I'll call it homework. Something to take home to be clear on like, okay, in building your personal brand, just like things to write out to say, okay, what am I defining as, okay, what's my goal for my personal brand? Is your goal that, oh, I want to get people to, I want to, because sometimes I'll give an example of how personal branding is so strong because of me actively pushing out all my personal branding on PR, and my personal branding on communications, I get a lot of job offers or even just interest on LinkedIn, even the things I'm not interested in. But I get a lot of people come like, oh, we're looking for someone who's good at this. Or even if you're not interested, is anybody in your circle interested? Because it's something I've deliberately pushed. So if your goal is to like, oh, I want my goal to be, oh, I want to get new roles in this specific area, be very clear on your personal branding and pushing what that is to get your goals. So it's important to have those goals in your personal branding, in defining your personal brand, but also defining your niche. So what is your area of expertise? Like I said earlier, if you don't have that area already, you can find that to say, oh, I want this to be my area. What do I need to do? What certifications do I need to get to make sure that this is my area? And then being very clear on that. And then your strengths, because like I said, it doesn't replace skill. And your strengths are your strengths. What am I good at? Like I said, if you don't know what you're good at, ask people, what am I good at? What do I get compliments on? What do people come to me for? And then your values too. Like I said, it goes back to values too, because that also sets you apart. People know that, oh, this person is very dedicated. No matter what, they don't like to drop the ball. They're very responsible. They're someone that you can count on. Are those values clearly communicated? You need to be very clear on your values and then the audience. Who are the people you are pushing that is your personal brand towards? Once you have all of that, we go into an activity because a lot of people have problems in defining who they are. It's not something you wait till like, oh, in an interview. You know, when you have an interview, the person asks, oh, so tell me about yourself, and people start to scratch their head. What do I say? It's not only there. Even like, oh, when you're meeting people, you're outside or you're meeting someone new. How do you introduce yourself? That's also part of your personal brand. Like, how do you communicate your story in a very clear and short way? So we have bad examples and we have good examples, and we'll take turns. The room will take turns introducing themselves because I said personal branding is something. It's not a theoretical thing. It's a very real life. It's a very engaged thing that you need to be on. So, for example, you go for an event and people are like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. Who are you? What's your name? How do you introduce yourself? So we have bad examples and we have good examples. But I'd like to ask the room, as you're seeing the bad examples, what makes you think they are bad examples? What can you point out in the bad examples that makes you think that they are bad examples? Like I said, it's interactive. So please, spaces that have not spoken yet, people who've not heard from, it'd be nice to hear from them.
Mina, you had your hands up earlier. Do you want to speak now? Yes, Dulce, did you want to speak? Please start typing in your questions into the chat box so that we can begin to take questions as we round up.
If we don't have any, I can just take it just for interest of time so we don't waste too
Yes,
much time
please go
here.
ahead. Please go
Okay,
ahead, Mina.
so for example, so the bad examples, start with the first one. So you're at an event, you have to introduce yourself. Hello. Like, oh, hello, I'm Ada. I do social media and other things. I'm looking to make money. Oh. Any opportunity you have, please. That's okay, but here's this why this is a bad example. You are Ada, but there can be multiple other Adas in the room. When you introduce yourself, it's important to say your full name. A lot of times when people introduce themselves, they'll say, oh, hi, I'm so. That's all. You need to communicate and say your full name and say with confidence, hello, I'm Adaola. Nice to meet you. But then you don't just say you do social media. Be specific, like, oh, I solve communication problems for businesses and I work in digital media. So you have to communicate exactly what you do in your niche specialty. And then something that people also miss when they introduce themselves, you need to let people know what you want or what you're looking for. and then opportunities that you're interested in. So it's like, I'm this, I do this, but I'm also interested in strategy and content development. So if you have opportunities, it would be wonderful to connect and discuss about this. And it's nothing to be shy about, because people can know who you are and what you do, but they don't know what you're interested in. They don't know that, oh, this opportunity. How do I know they're interested in opportunity? How do I know to rephrase this opportunity? You've not told me that you're interested in that. But if you're making clear to people that, oh, these are the things I'm looking to do, this is what I'm interested in. So whenever they see things like that, they'll remember, that's true. I met an Adaola, and she told me that she was interested in brand strategy. This person is asking me about brand strategy. Let me connect this person to Adaola, because I remember her full name. I remember that this person mentioned what the opportunity they're looking towards to. We can give an example of, like, oh, let's say you're a student and you don't exactly have a defined industry yet. But you can say, oh, I'm Yusuf, I'm studying tech. I'm trying to do this, or anything you have for me. No, like I said, it's very clear. It's very deliberate. So, hi, I'm Yusuf. I'm developing skills. So even if you don't have it yet, you can be honest. Say, oh, I'm taking a certification on this. I'm developing skills in this, and I'm focused on. Okay. I'm developing skills in this and I'm focused on this. And I'm looking for any internship roles in tech. If you have any, please, I'll be interested in that. Or if you have anything related to that, I'm interested in discussing that. So it's very clear of, like, oh, say your full name, say what you do that's in a specific niche, and then also tell people what you're interested in doing. So that's very clear. And it's something that a lot of people need to practice. A lot of people who are 10, 20 years in my career, I still struggle with this, because you're going into spaces and then people don't remember you because you're not communicating clearly. You're not communicating efficiently and smartly about your personal brand and what people should remember you by. So I think this is a very important activity. So that's why in the room, you can't be shy in your personal branding. Like I said, we're not leaving it up to chance. It's a deliberate effort. So it's your turn now. So I want to give at least 3 people 20 seconds to just introduce yourself. So you tell me your name, you tell me what you do, what you're interested in, who you help, and what you're looking for. Like I said, this is a real life thing. So there can be somebody in this room that is actually interested in, like, oh, you do that. Oh, I remember that person branding session does this. So you can even get opportunities from right here. So don't limit it to that. So please, this is not the time to be shy. I'm opening it up to, please, this is your time to promote yourself, market yourself, tell us who you are. I see we have a hand up in Enugu. So please, in 20 seconds, can you introduce yourself?
All right. Good morning, Ma. Mine is a
Good morning.
question, actually.
Okay. Is it related to this? Because we're taking questions at the end.
Yes, personal
Okay,
branding,
great.
yes. So the first question is, how can someone build a strong personal brand without appearing arrogant? The second question is,
sorry, hold on.
for someone with multiple skills, how do they avoid brand confusion? My third question is, what mistakes destroy personal branding the fastest? And then the last question is, does personal branding differ across countries or cultures? Thank you.
Okay, so those are really great questions, but let's take them at the end because so that we don't waste too much time.
Yeah. So we're doing the branding activity.
We have a couple hands, yeah.
Okay, so just to make sure that these are not questions that will be taken at the end. So let's take Calabar. You haven't spoken. Calabar. After Calabar, we'll take Oshogbo. Go ahead, Calabar.
Yeah, you have to unmute the mic.
Ready. Calabar, unmute your mic.
Okay.
Good everyone.
Thank you.
So and I'm building a social enterprise here in Africa called Yanka Network.
So I didn't hear your name. Can you start again?
My name is Peter Young, and I'm building a social enterprise in Africa called Yanka Network. So we are focused on empowering communities with innovative solutions for sustainable development.
Okay, are you done?
We are looking out for growing our communities in these different cities, Lagos, Abuja, and the rest. Yes.
Okay, great job. So you communicated your full name, communicated where you work, and opportunities you're looking forward to. Great job. So next time when you say your full name, make sure you enunciate clearly so that people can remember your name. Don't mumble over your name. So say your name with confidence. Say like, "Hi, I'm Shekinah Olagunju," so that people remember your name. Can we? I see Oshogwa's hand is up too. Thank you, Calabar.
We have another person here, ma.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is Samuel Stephen. I'm a developer, reverse engineer, and product manager. We're building an edtech startup in Calabar and Africa that helps people study science and STEM by watching movies and episodic series. So we're looking forward to scaling our startup and redefine the education system and bridging the gap of education inequality in Africa.
All right, great job. So like I said, it's something you consistently work on so that if you, let's say you run into Tony Ilumelu in the elevator, you already have something to say off the bat of your hand. So it's something you're working on, but great job, Calabar. Thank you.
Sure, well.
Good morning, ma. My name is Sarah Adewini, and I'm a product designer. So I'm just learning it, and I'm a student. I've learned for 5 months, and this is my 6th month. And I create a user-friendly product apps that makes people's life easier and more enjoyable. And I'm open to for any internship role, and I believe I'm good at it. Thank you, ma.
All right, great job. Just a comment next time, just say don't say I'm just learning. It doesn't sound as strong. Say that I'm investing my time. I've invested 6 months and I'm gradually gaining skills in so. Don't trivialize the work you're doing. But great job.
One more person.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, good morning. My name is Figo Babawali. I am a product designer and I'm working on a startup to explain how tax is used for Nigerian user. The website is taxgpt.site. For people that are confused about the new tax regulations in Nigeria, they can go to the site and ask and chat with it, ChatGPT. So it's a friendly chat-based app that you can check out. It's a website actually, taxgpt.site. Thank you.
All right, great job. Next time, focus more on, like you didn't mention what you're looking to do. So on opportunities you're interested in and what's the next phase. So remember to always mention that too. One last person. See if we're losing time, so we can take. I know we have a couple questions. One last person. On the place that space hasn't spoken yet.
Uyo? Where's Uyo? We haven't heard from you today. Let's take this from you. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. Okay.
Go ahead.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Matty Bright, and I'm a fashion designer. I focus on menwear. I'm also into upholstery, furniture making, interior decoration, and I'm also looking into making my work, putting my work on social media, creating content with it, and which will help me get more rich and grow my brand. Thank you.
All right, great job. Thank you. So like I said, it's something to consistently practice. Because if you see that as you're saying it, if you notice that I'm hesitating or it's not affluent, practice and practice everywhere. When you go to church, practice. When you go to spaces, practice. Practice with your friends. Practice it at school. Practice wherever you go. Because the more you do, because I say it's a consistent thing. The more you practice, the more you put it out there, the more people remember. So let's quickly move on. We're almost at the end, and so we can take the questions. So once you know what your personal brand is, then the question now is what next? So you can have your personal brand, but if you're not communicating your personal brand, you will be overlooked. So sorry. If you're not communicating your personal brand, you will be overlooked. And this communication, it has to happen both offline and online, and consistently. I know someone mentioned earlier, preview of a question like, oh, how long do you have to do your personal brand? Unfortunately, personal brand is a lifelong thing. As long as you have career goals, as long as you have goals in life, you will have to work on your personal brand. It's not a 1 week thing. It's not a 1 month thing. It's lifelong. As long as you have goals, you need to work on your personal brand because your personal brand can be one thing, but what if you're no longer interested in that field? What happens then? You need to now work on personal branding, steering it towards the field you want to go in. So I have some key tips here on how to communicate your personal brand offline because I know a lot of people struggle because it's easy. Okay, if I say online, oh, I know I'm posting on LinkedIn, posting on social media, but what do I do offline? So like I said, we already practiced that earlier. That elevator pitch of yourself. That oh, who are you? Of your who you are, what you do, who you help, opportunity you're looking towards. That elevator pitch. You need to learn how to practice that so you can communicate. But then it's also apart from what you're saying, personal branding is also some other things about qualities that people can see in you that apart from what you're saying. So it's also like consistency in your professional behavior. So are you someone who's usually punctual or not? Are you someone when you deliver work, it's constantly not good? Like people are like, oh, this is bad. It's not good. What's your demeanor at work? Are you always complaining at work? That's also part of your personal brand. So in as much as you're communicating, there's a disconnect between what you're communicating and how you're behaving. That's going to affect your personal brand. So you have to be very clear on like, how is my attitude? What do people think of my attitude? Because that also is your personal brand. Another thing, how you can also communicate your personal brand is also face-to-face networking. So are you going to events in your industry? Are you attending webinars? Are you to attend? And when you attend these webinars, are you just one of those people that lurk on the webinar? Or do you comment? Do you ask questions? Because that's how you actually set yourself apart, how people remember you. So when you go to this event, what do you do? Are you part of any associations? I know there are multiple associations that are free to join, some are paid. Are you part of those associations? The people that oh, this is the kind of person I want to be. Look them up and see oh, what is their brand? What association are they in, and how can I join this association? So that's something else you can do, and even just local meetups, in your spaces, in your clubs. What are you doing, and how are you pushing yourself in those spaces? And also communicating your personal brand offline. You have to leverage relationships. Do you have a mentor? How can you expand your contact? Because when you have a mentor, are you communicating your brand to your mentor so that your mentor is also pushing your brand to other people? It's very important too. And then you also need to showcase your expertise. So volunteer for high visibility projects. Oh, it's a lot of work, but you know that if I do this, I'm putting myself at the forefront of this thing I want to be at. So it's important. Speak at events, teach workshops. It doesn't have to be something so high level. It's like, oh, in my local community or in my church, what am I teaching people on this skill that I know? And how can I communicate this to other people? And then, of course, in communicating your personal brand online, we talked about this earlier, so I won't spend too much time about being clear on your LinkedIn. Are you active on LinkedIn? What's your LinkedIn headline? Is it your job role or is it specific to what you want to do? And I'm more than just posting on LinkedIn. I think something people also miss is that you need to be active on LinkedIn, not just as a post, but also like, are you commenting on other people's pages? Are you sharing posts that align to you? Are you messaging people on LinkedIn? Are you engaged? Because once you start to leave comments in key, because there are groups in LinkedIn, there are communities in LinkedIn, once you're someone that starts to actively leave comments that, oh, these are smart comments, you're engaging, people start to remember you. People start to reach out to you. Reach out to people on LinkedIn, you sending messages. It's very important. And then also photos is an important part that a lot of people miss. Do you have clear photo on your social media pages? Your not only your LinkedIn too, your Instagram, your Facebook. What photos are on there? Do you have clear photos that communicate something that people want to know that oh, this is a responsible person. This is a person that I associated with this. It's very important. And then, of course, your biography, your bio is something like you can work on, like, oh, what's my bio? What's something that, oh, like, and your bio doesn't have to be long. The introduction we did earlier that, oh, hello, I'm so, I do so. That could be your bio. Another part you can communicate is having that your online portfolio. Somebody can easily share a link that you can share that, oh, this is a compilation of all the design work I've done. This is a compilation of all the things I've done. Something you can easily share with people online so that when they look you up, that's also associated with your personal brand. And then, of course, something not to miss is reviewing your social media, especially if your social media pages that have your name on it and your photos on it. Does it reflect your personal brand? If people go to go, are people going to go on Facebook and see an 8-year-old picture of you doing something weird. Is that a part of the personal brand that you want to be there? If it's not, please go on there and review, edit, delete what you need to do. And something else that's key that can also help is using artificial intelligence tools to help you in your social media. So, oh, I need to create posts and I post at least once a month or once every 2 months or so. It helps with content ideation, but it also broaden your reach of like, oh, pushing my personal brand in key online spaces that I want to be associated with. So I know we're running out of time. Thank you for listening to me, but I know we have a couple questions. I'll leave it on
Okay.
this slide. But please, yes, I know we have a couple questions. So, Madam Grace, please help us out. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Let's put our heads together for Shekinah. Thank you very much for this well-detailed presentation on branding that you have delivered to us. So over for questions. We just have about 4 minutes for questions. We are supposed to round up at 11, so let's see what we can do with this time. But even if we don't exhaust the questions now, we can still respond to the questions on our social media, so that's fine. So please unmute yourself in case you have any question. I see Gombe, so I will give priority to those spaces who haven't talked during the presentation. Gombe, please unmute yourself and ask your questions. Let's make our questions very brief, straight to the point, no stories. Thank you.
Okay, good morning. My question is, if you're making your own personal branding, what are the challenges someone face, and how can somebody tackle the challenges that he is facing while making his own personal branding?
Thank you.
Okay, so some common challenges that people have with their personal brand is that they try to copy people too much. So it's like, oh, I see this person does this, so let me do this. Like I said, personal brand has to be unique to you. That's your part. So that's why you have to do the work. Like the audits slide, let me quickly go to the audit slide. You need to be clear on answering all these questions to set yourself apart. So that way, when you're communicating your personal brand, it's very unique to you and it sets you apart from other people. So that's usually a common challenge.
Okay, maybe I will read some of the questions that we have online. So it says, how can, Lagos says, how can you ensure your brand on Google search shows your real brand? I know you had talked about how some of the brand changes and all that. So how can you ensure what's online is your real
So
brand?
it speaks to, like I said, putting yourself out there online of like, oh, are you posting content on these pages? Like, oh, like I said, you have your own blog that you're pushing content on there that you know that you're being visible for. Or on Instagram, are you doing collaboration posts that you know yourself you are being featured? That's how you can push off content about yourself that you want to be aligned to your personal brand.
Okay, I think that also answers Kefi's questions on some of the activities one can engage in to be visible on Google. So Kefi, your question has also been answered. Let me see whose hands up again. Please unmute yourself. Georgina, I can't see your space, but go ahead.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, Director and the facilitator for today. My name is Professor Georgina Elfita. I would like to just quickly comment. I know we don't have time. Thank you, facilitator. The session has been very interesting and informative. On LinkedIn, I'm just wondering, I just wanted to clear something. There's something I've seen happening in LinkedIn. People, because we talk about this personal branding and making yourself visible, a lot of persons spend time on that aspect, especially the young ones. And when you get to meet with them, you find out that they have not actually built the capacity that they tend to publicize on LinkedIn. So I think the younger generation still has to know, aside from driving the visibility, they still actually need to drive drive building capacity to fit with whatever visibility they are driving on LinkedIn. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you for that. Yeah, we spoke about that earlier, Zach. It does personal branding does not replace skill. Like I said, if there's this disconnect, if you push yourself like this a certain way, and then people see you in real life, it's even worse for your personal brand. That there's a disconnect. You are fabricating your persona basically. So, like I said, it has to be backed up with skill. So, if you want your personal brand to be a certain way, then take the certification you need to take. Put in the work you need to do to get your personal brand to be true to who you are.
Okay, thank you for that. We have another question that says, how long does it take to build a great personal brand? How long does it take?
I said it's lifelong. Like I said, it can be strong now, but then if you stop actively putting deliberate effort, it's gonna tank again. People are gonna forget. So it's something you need to consistently work on. We all need to consistently work on it. So sometimes it can be like, oh, I'm pushing my personal brand offline. I want to focus more offline. Then that's fine. It's like, okay, I'm putting my work into being visible in those spaces. So like I said, it's lifelong, unfortunately. As long as you have goals, career goals, you need to be consistent in your effort to always put your personal brand out there.
Okay. My question will be, do you have to change your personal branding over time to better your assets? That's one aspect of it. And then sometimes you talked about people complimenting you and you get to know that you're good in certain aspect. But is it possible for you to be complimented over something over and over, and yet you don't have passion for that same thing? Is it possible?
Okay.
And how do you build your brand from that?
So the first question, can you take the first question again quickly?
Okay, do you have to change your personal branding over time to be able
Okay,
to
so I'll
build
speak
answer from?
to
Yeah.
that. So like I said, your personal brand has to be tied to your goals and then the target and your target audience. So if you see that your goals have changed, that's okay. Then you pivot your personal brand to align to your goals. So you pivot your reputation management and what you're putting out there, what you want to be associated with to align with your goal. And like I said, because it's lifelong and lifelong things will change. What if your personal brand is strong digital marketing, but then I want to go to a completely different industry now. Then you need to now say, okay, what do I need to now do to reflect this new industry that I want to work in and opportunities I want to get in this new industry and have my personal brand aligned with that. And then going into the question of, if people constantly compliment you on something, but it's not something you want to exactly do you're passionate about, it's okay. You can pick out the values there. So let's say you're being complimented, you're really good at design, you have a good eye for color. Focus on the part where it's like, you have a good eye for color, you're good at this part. It doesn't have to be so specific. It can be like the values are tied to that activity that you're good at, you're getting compliments on, that is part of your personal brand.
And then lastly, from me, this my question: what is the cost of personal branding?
The cost.
Yes.
So I'll speak to the cost in two ways. If you don't work on your personal brand, it's gonna be whatever people choose for you. So, and then you will be forgotten, unfortunately. In this competitive environment, you don't want to be the not fifth person people remember for that. Remember, I mentioned earlier, well, what are you the plug for? What do people depend on you for? If you don't work on that to be memorable, you will be forgotten, unfortunately. It makes things a lot more difficult for you. Personal branding is the grease. I always say it's the grease that helps success become easier for you. Because when you're not in the room, your name is already being mentioned in a good way. That's what personal branding helps. And if you don't work on it, I think you're leaving money on the table. You're leaving opportunities for yourself on the table if you don't work on your personal brand.
Okay. Oka, I will take two more questions. Oka, and then the last one. Oka, your hands are up.
Good morning, everyone.
Thank you.
The question I have now is about, is there a way personal branding can be built and be separated from personal identity and personal life? Like, can it be built without having much of your personal life being attached to it? That's my question. Thank you so much.
So unfortunately, Remember the personal part of personal branding. And like I said, how it has to be true to your identity. You can't say, oh, my personal branding is this, but that's not what you're not. It has to be tied to you because that's what makes it authentic. That's what makes it real. And that's what sets you apart. So it's not a social media persona. It's not a influence identity. It's who you are and your values and what you want to be. That's personal branding. So unfortunately, I don't think you can separate the two. If it's separated, there can be a sense of falsehood, and it won't be true
Okay.
to who you are.
Okay. Thank you. Our last question from the center. I can't see the name, but somebody's wearing blue and a lady in black.
I think that's
Yes,
Yola.
yes, Yola. Okay, let's take the last question from you.
Good morning, ma'am. You told us to search for our names on Google. For us that were unable to find our names, and any information concerning us, how can we work on that to help us improve in our personal branding?
Thank you for that. So like I said, if you search your name and you don't find anything, means you have work to do your personal branding. Like, if you notice, for those who search their name, the first thing that usually pops up is their LinkedIn. So it's like, do you have a LinkedIn account? Are you active? So that way, when people you search your name, your LinkedIn is usually the first that pops up. So that way, that pops up. Apart from your name, what social media accounts do you have that you want to push your personal brand in on? Are you active on there? And what are you doing to put on there to push your personal brand too? Like I said, it's more than just LinkedIn or social media. It's also like, oh, are you part of any clubs or communities? Because sometimes when you're part of clubs, they put things online. So that way your name pops up too. Or even in your school, what are you doing things that way your name can pop up? So when you search, you're seeing your name, you're seeing your pictures. Those are things you do intentionally so that when you search your name, you can see yourself.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Once again, let's put our hands together for our presenter this morning. Thank you so much. We've really learned a lot from you, and I know there will still be more questions. Please go to our YouTube page and put down your questions. Thank God she's just a stone throw, so we can always have a response to some of those questions. And most of them have also asked for the slide, which I believe you will share with us to share with all the Spaces directors. So thank you very much for that. And to all our audiences today, thank you for actively participating. Today was actually very interactive as usual. And please stay tuned to all our programs, all American Spaces programs. Go to our Facebook page, go to our YouTube channel, and see some of the programs we've also done so that you can go through it and learn more from it. Once again, thank you very much, Shekinah Olagunju, for being our guest today. We really appreciate it, and we learned a lot from you.
Thank you, everyone.
So have a pleasant week, everyone, and keep a tab on our programs as well. Bye for now.
Thank you, Grace.
Thank
you, everyone will be coming back on Zoom on Thursday for our Speak with a Diplomat program. I'm sure you don't want to miss this session. It's going to be very engaging. See you all on Thursday.
Thank you, Josephine.
Bye, Grace.
Bye.
Bye, Shekinah. Bye, Grace.
Bye, Sam.
Bye.